Today's matchup, KeeN, Ryung, Leenock. 2021 GSL Season 3. Africa TV Free Cup Studio Live. 2021 GSL Season 3.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GSL Code A. I am Artosis, joined once again by Special. Thank you for coming back and joining me once again.
My pleasure, my pleasure. The people like me, so I come back here.
Yes, that was the big test, wasn't it?
It was.
They did like you for whatever reason, so here we are. This is, if you're wondering where Tasteless is, I'm sure he's watching, because he does like StarCraft 2, even though people try to pretend otherwise. He is on quarantine. It's his last day, though.
Tomorrow he's out.
Yeah, he's going to be free.
He's released.
Yeah, and hopefully he does not get quarantined again before Code S starts next week. If so, we're going to hope you get eliminated quickly.
Yeah, that'll be something, right?
But, yeah, much love to Tasteless there. Hope that he has a good time getting out. But this is going to be a great day. We have 2 matches left in Code A, and then we're going to have the group selection, which, of course, you're going to be taking part in as well.
I'm going to be there. Ready to be picked first.
Yes. there's definitely a chance, I would say. Let's take a look at who is already going onwards into the round of 16. A pretty good ratio right now. If Leenock wins, we will have a golden ratio. If not, it's going to be very Terran heavy. Taesagi, I heard.
Yeah, I heard, except last season, round of 8. I think that was not the case, so I don't know, we'll see, I guess. It depends. It depends on Leenock mostly. I think he has a very hard matchup against Cure, but it's not impossible, but I think he's really the underdog.
He's the underdog there, for sure.
The other matchup between KeeN and Ryung, I see it more in favor of KeeN, but not impossible for Ryung to win. You know, it's like Ryung historically been known for very good in TVT, right?
Yeah. Once upon a time, he was top 1 or 2 TVTs, in my opinion, basically in the world at that point.
But nowadays, he's also pretty good in TVT. So, yeah, I think he's pretty good in TVT. But also do I think KeeN is pretty good in TVT. So it's going to be a good matchup regardless, in my opinion.
No, I think KeeN is actually really legit. He's been one of my favorite underdog players for years and years and years.
He was always good, man.
Yeah, I think he's grossly underrated. And if you look, for instance, that crazy Maru run, you remember when I think it was season 1 or season 2 that Maru won? KeeN was the guy that almost knocked him out.
I remember.
It was so close.
Yeah, it was very close, very good. I remember
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of stuff like that happens to KeeN, where he just hits randomly the hardest person in the tournament, barely doesn't win, and then it's like no one even thinks of it.
Yeah, people just forget KeeN. I heard about this guy. Who is this?
Oh, isn't that like a guy that doesn't even make it in Code S? I'm like, oh, I think he's actually almost, he's like a 3rd place in the round of 16 type of level, right? Like he's a top 24 player or so.
For sure.
I don't know. Something like that.
Ryung, he's coming back. He didn't qualify for a long time, right? After he come back, I think it's the first time he qualified.
Dude, yeah, no, he hasn't been in Code A or Code S in a very long time.
He didn't do it last season. I don't remember correctly, but
no,
I think
he didn't.
He did.
He did not make it in. I think he played the qualifiers. If I recall correctly.
He was in my group in the qualifiers. I beat him 2-1, and then I beat Hero to qualify.
Yeah.
And then he beat Hero in the final match. I remember.
Oh,
and Hero is it's very impressive because Hero right now is really good.
Yeah.
And Hero didn't make it to this Code A, so.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It's one of the players I'm most excited about getting back is Hero.
That's true. He's very good right now, so that speaks highly for Ryung because he beat him.
That's really impressive because Ryung, he really kind of fell from grace, I think. He was looking kind of weak towards the end of his GSL runs, barely making it in and stuff. But here he is. He's going to go up against KeeN. The first map going to be on Romanticide. What do you think the score is this set?
I think that we're gonna be seeing some mech at least on this map. We're gonna be seeing some mech on this map.
Africa Freaks, KeeN. Team GP, Ryung.
So something I saw in the map beatus is that they both beat to the new maps. So Oblivion and Nautilus are gone. So we're just gonna be seeing some very standard maps that we see every single time, kind of. And I was talking to KeeN before when he arrived, and I said, I'm the caster. Give me some insight. I want to know what's going to happen. And he say, romanticize. I will play your style. I don't know what that means, but that's what he told me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, your style, like I feel like you're pretty flexible TVT overall, but I think you're one of the stronger mech players overall, so maybe that's what he means by it.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I think. That's what I mentioned in the intro. Maybe we're gonna see mech, because I think mech on this map is insanely underrated, and people people think like mech is kind of weak, but on this map it's very strong because it's very easy to defend 3 bases, and to take the 4 base takes literally not much effort too. So and the pushing path is actually quite strong too, because if you push like the 4 base, you kind of get that little position between the natural and the third, and if you get control of that, it's like kind of like the other guy can't do much anymore.
No, totally. I definitely agree with your assessment there. I think mech on any map where you can easily take the 3rd base is really, really, really strong. It's just players practice mech a lot less and make a lot of terrible decisions with it. We were actually kind of joking before this show about like how many Terran players you see. They play like 1 mech game in a best of 5, and like they like beat the bio army, and then they unsiege 15 tanks and go across the map and lose them all. And it's like, okay, you just don't have any idea what you're doing. Like, come on.
Thinking, man. So we see something impressive, something not impressive, but something different. We see a reactor by, is that Ryung? That's Ryung,
yeah,
right?
by Ryung.
So this is something that KeeN likes to do as well. That he makes 1 Reaper and he just skips the 2nd Reaper and he just goes straight to reactor. It's a little greedy because if the other guy attacks with the two Reapers, 1 Hellion, you just kind of use that. So he's kind of greedy. Well, actually, he's going Hellions behind it. This is completely out of the meta. No one does this.
That is
I'm interested about what's going to happen with this build, because I actually don't know what are we going to see. So he's going Hellions of 2 gases. Like, this is very, very uncommon build.
Yeah, this is well, one thing to say about Ryung is he always does kind of play his own style when you think about it, right? Like, this guy is like Mr. Banshee Mech, for instance. But honestly, I mean, I haven't seen him play in quite some time, so I'm really unsure of what type of style he's going to bring. Now, he is making a medevac, so looks pretty clear that we're going to see a Hellion drop coming up.
I did do some build similar to this, but I would proxy the starport, like literally the same thing, but with the proxy starport. So I guess he doesn't want to commit to the proxy starport, so it's a little bit weaker, but this medevac is still relatively fast because you didn't go expansion before the factory. So
yeah.
I guess after that he's gonna go Raven and you swap and make Marines and Cyclone, and there we go. So he's gonna make a tech lab on the starport and make a Raven. Just gonna be later than KeeN's, just because he made a medevac before, but it's fine.
Yeah, no, I kind of like how the build has come together. We'll see though if he actually can get anything done with this Hellion drop. Yeah. Looks like he's going in the side that I actually thought he would probably go down the other side, but that's a little bit more predictable as well. So
he might go to the the one TVP where they go to the main base through this side.
Yeah.
That might be where he's going. I don't think he's gonna drop in the natural, because normally Terran has their units on the natural. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, I think he's doing that. Lucy. The little path.
Yeah, look at that right behind the trees.
Oh, he's moving out,
KeeN's out of position.
This is really bad, man.
Yeah, Ryung going forward. Okay, the Hellions go in the main base. Oh my god, the damage here to KeeN is going to be massive.
This could be game damage, man. He also gets to see the Cyclone upgrades being made, so he knows the other guy is going mech. Oh, how many SCVs? 9, 10.
Dude, amazing drop here, and the whole army has to come home as well. Oh wow, picks up 2 of them. Not sure he's really going to get anything else done with it, but
you get scouting at least. You get map control. It's always great to save your units.
Yeah,
I think so. So he
10 units dead, man. That's 10 SCVs dead is amazing.
It is amazing. So he gets to see that he's going Cyclone with the upgrade, and I don't know if he kind of caught of it, because I think the best way to beat mech is if you get to see its mech, is just play mech by yourself with even more greedy than the other guy. Because you just outgreed him. This is what happened to me against Maru, like. Kind of like when I play against Maru in the Super Tournament, remember he played mech against me?
Yeah.
When he thought I was playing mech, it's pretty strong to do that way. So.
Yeah, it was actually really interesting, because it looked like he completely changed his plan when he scouted you. I remember that very clearly now that you bring that up.
Yeah, it's very strong in mech.
Yeah.
And actually, since he's going 4 gas, we could see a chance of mech by Ryung as well. He's going 4 gas before the extra E-base, I mean the E-base or the extra barracks. So there's a chance that he's just gonna play more defensive mech with tanks instead of like cyclones. Which it's okay, especially because he got damage early on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I like as well, if you do go down that route, it just kind of scales a little bit better, right? Because the Cyclone's not going to be quite as useful as those tanks. And yeah, another factory coming down. So it looks like you definitely called that correctly. Do you think that Ryung's initial plan was mech here, or is this a reaction?
I think with his build, it's probably a reaction. I think with his build going
even with the double gas, with the...
Yeah, even like type of guy. I think going Helion drop into mech doesn't seem that strong in general because you delay your Raven plus your Viking, so you in a real danger to die. But I think after he saw the Cyclone upgrade, he's like, okay, I can go mech myself behind it. So he's ahead just in general because look, he's already making the 3 extra factories while KeeN is on one, and he's also already making like the Vikings as well. So his production is just stronger, his economy is bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I would like to see from KeeN is, exactly, this two factory, like, at least make the heavy units, Cyclones, the tanks, even if you skip the Helions for a little bit. So their factory also on the way, good scan by Ryung. He gets to see the 3rd best timing, that is lower than his. And nice tracking timing.
Yeah, nice little pickoff here from KeeN. Trying to fly his command center out to take this 3rd base. The double armory coming down ahead of KeeN as well. Definitely do like Ryung's spot quite a bit here. Actually,
I don't like the 2 armory too much. I think in mech, if you go 5 factory before 2 armory, it's so much stronger. Because the upgrades don't really mean that much in this matchup at this stage. They mean much more like later on. So if you have a normal unit, you can use sometimes just end the game, you know. But it's fine since he's still in a very strong position for early on. He can still get away with this. It's okay.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. Like, do you like 1 armory just like plus attack, or do you like just 0 armory into 5 fact?
Yeah, 0 into 5 fact, and then you can take a 4 base and then 2 armory. But like they both work, but I use my preference. I think this is better in general. But Ryung seems like he likes this way, which is fine. It works too. It's just my preference. I think it's stronger.
Well, I mean, I kind of appreciate the idea here of Ryung, right? Like, if you're going to play greedily, one of the first things that comes to mind is quick upgrades, right? So, we'll see. I guess he's not going to be able to really go out on the map or anything with it because he does have those early armories, but there's, like, no way for him to take any damage.
No, he's not going to die, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, here's kind of my question here, right? It's mech versus mech, which it's kind of funny how few mech versus mech games we get into.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with like the early mech. Like obviously we saw like you versus Maru in the Super Tournament where he kind of went like into a late mech to counter you, and that made the games look kind of weird. But here they've both gone mech very, very early on. And I think one of the more interesting things about mech versus mech in TVT is the time to switch into more of a Sky Terran type play. I've always appreciated the way that you've done that. Can you kind of talk out your thought process on when and how to switch into that?
Okay, so in my opinion, it's very dependent on the map. On this map, it can be a lot faster than other map because it's kind of easy to defend multiple bases. So you don't need much units like everywhere, and you're kind of compact. But if you're in another map that is more spread out, it's hard to defend more bases. I think staying into the ground for longer is not bad. Now, however, I feel like once you get to BCs, it's really, really strong for the player with the BCs, just because the teleportability is so strong.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, if you want to get into an army, you don't really want the Vikings in this matchup. If you go in mech vs mech, in mech vs mech situation, it's not that useful, unless you get into full Sky Terran, which doesn't happen too often in this. From mech vs mech. So I think an appropriate time to do that would be like around 5 to 6 bases scenario we're talking. But I think this game, I don't know, I remember I played Ryung in the qualifiers and he played mech and he kind of did like a 2-2 timing with mech on this map. Yeah, and I died. I was out of position, so he might do that.
Well, I think if he got his armories this quickly, that would make a lot of sense if that's what he's going to be aiming for.
Yeah, I remember this. He did like Liberator harass, and then he attacked.
All right.
He sees the hidden base as well. 2 Liberators going for harass, and he's going to send some Hellions to deny the hidden command center.
Yeah, and I got to say, by the way, it's 6 Vikings against 12, so definitely that ground army going to be a lot stronger for Ryung here.
Right, for sure. Okay, see, he's doing that. He's actually moving. So here's come the move out. The Vikings are a little bit of position. The second Liberator, I think he died as well. But there's three Hellions on the third base. But this push actually made Ryung turn back with everything, so he's not gonna push anymore. So
some decent lock-ons. Just force a cancel on one of these command centers. Starting to take some tank splash, so backs up a little bit here.
So this move by KeeN was really good, because I think if he doesn't do this, he actually is in a big problem to die, you know? His army is not as big as it looks, even though the supply looks the same.
Yeah,
As you mentioned, the Viking count is huge.
It's huge. He's got 14 now, so that's like kind of insane. He also still has 8 Marines, so it's like overall his army, I think it'll do well later on. But now you look at the count after trading off some of those units, 7 tanks against 8. Okay, this is looking better for KeeN now.
Before it was much less. Also with 2
it
Ravens.
was like 4 against 8 or something a minute ago.
Full two Ravens means like what, 2 disables and some turrets. So basically the tanks are gone and you just cannot get a move.
Yeah.
But actually, look at this. Kind of funny. They're moving like across. Both they're moving across, but they're gonna meet like this in the middle. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this coming from KeeN, to be honest. I think he's going to get crushed. I don't like this.
Disable? Oh, he used the missile.
Okay, well, I mean, he's still got a lot more Vikings. Does that armor shred as well, so it looks like KeeN will win the air war for sure, and he does kill the command.
That's quite big.
This was this looked kind of weird to me. Ryung, he actually has a huge chunk of army that was down below.
Yeah, it's what I was thinking. Like, I don't know about the usage of the Raven, because he uses disable against when he has less Vikings than the other guys, so he doesn't do much. He's trying to break this situation now. His supply is still bigger. Like his army in the ground is just much bigger than his. And even though he lost his 4 base, I think he has like extra command center and third base that he can just fly, you know. So I like his position more, because as I say, I think Sky, like Vikings in mech vs mech, they're not that powerful, you know. It's not like Bio vs Bio where you can get control and make a Liberator and you cannot really do that. This because the Cyclone can just lock in and kill in 1 second or make a Thor.
Sure.
Oh, he's gonna get out of position though. Oh, the siege.
Yeah, look at this siege up. Not that many tanks for KeeN. Has only a couple of them coming up right now. The Cyclones come up, get some good lock-ons. He has one on the tank, so pulls it out a little bit further there.
So now the upgrade is also 2-2 against 1-1. So upgrades are not that important when you see Cyclone vs Cyclone Wars, but obviously if there's tanks, the tanks do a lot more damage. So normally in this meta, mech vs mech, you want a lot of Cyclones because they give you a lot of map control and a lot of bases really quickly, and then you can make tanks afterward. That's why I mean like 5 factory is better than upgrades, because at that point it doesn't really matter the upgrades. But in this scenario, the upgrades are gonna matter quite a bit because he has a decent amount of tanks. But look at this, he's actually making Cyclone now, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, I don't want to like over flatter you here, but I think you're actually better at mech TVT than these guys.
Oh, thank you, Artosis. But no, I think they're both playing pretty well actually. I don't see like they're playing many mistakes or anything. I didn't like that move out by KeeN, but he didn't die, but he just behind. Look at the SCP count by KeeN, by the way. It looks like TY is playing this game. What is this?
Look at this, 97 workers for Ryung, 75 here for KeeN.
That's a lot.
It's kind of hilarious. Double starports coming up at like exactly the same time, which is always kind of funny to see.
Yeah, around the 5 to 6 replays. Now I wonder, are they on 5 factory or 8 factory? That's my question. Normally you I think 8 or 7 factory is a little stronger than the Sky Terran transition, but I don't know. They both weren't able to kill, and KeeN is pretty good at this kind of games, defensive games, like long games. He's pretty good at this. He's like a lesser version of the Maru, you know? But he's pretty good at this.
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean about that.
Okay, the Liberator has come into the way.
And some planetaries up. I like the sensor towers being spread over the tank there on the high ground, but it's not very much. Like you can bowl through there. Now Liberators coming over, but getting picked off very, very quickly. KeeN kind of roaming around the map right now with his mech army, but great mirroring here from Ryung to keep him off his back.
Yeah, the game looks pretty even so far. I guess they're gonna be going into Ravens first instead of Battlecruisers because their economy is not that big yet. So they really cannot afford Battlecruisers, because if you make Battlecruiser, they're really, really expensive, and if you make a little mistake, you cannot use that. But if you go Raven, they're not like that expensive at this scenario of the game, so it's possible to go. And they are still pretty good, because you can disable tank lines and just go and break it. This Cyclone trade is kind of going for Ryung, right?
I think KeeN is clearing his supply purposefully here.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I don't know why else you would attack into like a better Cyclone army with your worst Cyclone army than to kind of free it up a little bit so you can actually start making your Ravens.
Right. So I don't like the SCV count by Ryung, by the way. I think he should really make orbitals and get sacked some SCV because his army is just getting smaller and smaller. There could be a point that he can get roll over, you know? A little mistake in 90 SCVs is just too much at this situation.
Do you ever like to, in a game like this, build up a little bit of a bank and then sack the SCVs?
Yeah, I think that's a play. Once you can make some orbitals,
Yeah.
you sack the SCVs. Like,
Totally.
I don't know, 5 to 8 orbitals is pretty good normally. That basically makes it like unlimited scans plus meals.
But yeah, his supply on SCVs is rather high. He does have a maxed out army, a little bit more bank on everything here as well.
So it seems that the army movement by KeeN, he still has like a little contain on the 4/5 feet base movement, and he's getting control of this place as well. And that just is because the army is just so much bigger for KeeN because the supply, or not?
Yeah, he's up 20 army supply basically the whole time.
Ryung is also making Vikings, which...
And he's losing SCVs now. Okay, so that was actually a raid from KeeN, which actually might end up helping Ryung if he doesn't remake them.
That's true. Still 86 a little much. He kills his base as well. I feel like KeeN is just a little better at playing these kind of games, you know?
I'm kind of finding myself asking, like, where are Ryung's units? I know that he's got that kind of little bit too high SCV count, but truly, where are his tanks? Like, why does he have a base at the top that has 0 defense at it? Where, like, we're watching little scuffles in the center that have no tanks.
I look at his, he has 16 Hellions, he has 5 tanks. That's why his supply is so low.
So weird. Why does he have 16 Hellions?
I don't know. He's just spamming the Hellion bottom, I guess.
He's got like too many reactors on his factories.
I think he used macro perfectly, and KeeN is actually just making tanks. When you don't really want this many Hellions. It's kind of useless.
Well, I mean, they're very strong earlier on in the game, but when you actually start hitting max supplies, you have to think about what types of units are in your army. And Hellions like do not scale to maxed out mech armies at all.
It's like the worst unit you can make in this situation. So that's why his army is relatively very weak. You know, even though it looks big, this doesn't look that scary. You know.
Dude, I'd rather have him throw those Hellions away and have 30 more SCVs, honestly. Like, they're not going to do much of anything. And look at this. The battle starts to come. The Vikings here winning for KeeN in the air. And he's going to, I mean, he might knock out another base here. Look at this. The Cyclone's killing the tank up there at 12.
Yeah, like, even though the fight looked okay at some point for Ryung, like, he's actually losing the base. He lost some tanks as well. Yeah. And this is looking much better and better for KeeN. Like, look at the bank as well. Despite Ryung having so much worker, much economy before, like, he's been trading so terrible the whole game that now his bank is completely gone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you're spending that much money. Like, that was 1.5k of Hellions, and what did they do?
Absolutely nothing.
They really actually did nothing. They just died. They just blew up. And it's like, yeah, they're very useful earlier on. They add some damage. They can kill off SCVs and whatnot. But at this point, it's not even about that. It's about actually keeping your bases up and having an army that's actually threatening and strong.
So we see that KeeN just keep outgrowing Ryung, like he's taking extra bases, macroing perfectly fast. Look, having defense everywhere. Look at this tank, it's beautiful. Defending the liberators correctly, having map vision with the sensor towers. And as you say, like that's what was lacking for Ryung. Look at these 2 tanks here. There's like a line of tanks above of like 4 or 5. Like, he just have beautiful map control, you know, beautiful map positioning as well. So he's pretty good at this, it seems like.
Well, just the fact that Ryung has 2 bases that he can't take right now, and KeeN has like every base that he can take, right? All the bases on his side have been taken.
Look at this beautiful usage of the Raven as well. I don't know about this seat, but okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna win.
Maybe he'll just barely get him.
Yeah. Beautiful play. The army is still sharking on top. Look, he's trying to find an opening where he can kind of finish the game. Because looking at the army supply difference is quite big. It's like 40 supply difference of the army. So his army is quite strong. Oh, nice position here as well. He's doing damage everywhere he can with mech.
Yeah, Ryung, I'm not really sure what his game plan is here. He's down in the Viking count, he's down in the tank count, he's down in the Raven count. He's kind of down in everything.
Right. So he's like harassing with tanks, which is kind of funny. There's a fight going on, I don't know what's going on. He's trying to get control of the ramp. If he gets control of this, it's so huge. Disabling the tanks, perfect use of the Ravens. He still has a lot. Oh, this is so bad for for KeeN, for Ryung. Sorry, this is really, really bad. This position is going to be so hard to break. I
I
don't know
know
if he can
his
break it, man.
Vikings are going to win too, so it's like
Yeah.
Ryung has literally lost on every single front here. The cost efficiency of KeeN is way, way better. He's up 70 supply right now. That's it, GG. KeeN takes game 1, and that's after losing 10 workers
Yeah.
to a Hellion drop at the beginning. Yeah, it really felt like Ryung. I liked a lot of the things he did, but he definitely did not gain that map control you were talking about, getting the armories very, very quickly there. Maybe that's a part of why. He overmade Hellions later on. He had a higher SCV count than maybe he really needed.
I think the biggest one of the biggest problems this game was that he got that advantage and he built an advantage to do like a strong timing, right? But you remember when he moved with a bunch of army to the top and he went back with everything?
Yes.
That
yes.
was his timing. He had like 4
yeah.
tanks, I get like 8, and he
That's
had
true,
2
that's
Ravens
true.
to full disable. I think he goes at that timing, he kind of just wins the game.
Yeah.
But he got scared and went back.
Well, he's like, oh my god, that small army could have killed the command center if
Yeah.
he doesn't turn around. So that's like, I understand,
I understand
the thought
the
of
movement
turning
too.
around.
But that was his timing, and he.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah. After that, KeeN slowly but surely started to gain advantages.
KeeN definitely looked like the stronger mech player overall than Ryung. I have to say that.
At least in the mech vs mech matchup, I agree.
yeah.
We don't know about mech vs
Well, I mean,
build.
maybe Ryung doesn't have that much practice in that because his army looked more like an army that wanted to fight Bile, honestly, for a lot of that.
That's right. Well, we'll see.
All right, Light Shade going to be our second map. Let's get into it.
GSL Season 3. Code A.
Africa Freaks, KeeN. Team GP, Ryung.
Okay, this is a very weird RCB. Where is this boy going? Because this is not a timing for a proxy. This is... Okay, I think I know. Oh, okay, okay. This is going to be like, you know, the 2 racks proxy, I think?
Ah, yeah.
I
Like
think-
1 Rax in main, 1 Rax proxy Reaper.
Yeah, I think so, but it was sent a little too early, you know, because look at he's just patrolling there doing nothing, so just a tiny bit too early sent out.
Oh,
but
is he trying to...
he's gonna make an
I
revive
thought for a
sure,
minute
right?
there he was peeking to see if an SCV was coming or something, but yeah,
I
there's the
guess.
barracks. It was definitely a little bit early.
It's okay, it's not the biggest deal of the war, but...
Well, it kind of points towards a bigger problem, right? Like that's at the professional level, like you want to be top 16 in Korea.
yeah, you have
Not
to...
likely that that's going to come out there and patrol for 30 seconds.
That's right, but... okay, now the bad news for Ryung is that KeeN is doing for the safety 2 gas build. Now the good news for Ryung is that he's actually doing something completely different. He's going the 2 racks into 2 gas. Normally this build you do 2 racks and then you expand behind it with 1 gas. But since he's going 2 gas himself, I'm guessing he's gonna make a factory very relatively quickly as well, so it's not that bad. Normally if you go 2 racks like this and the other guy is 2 gas like KeeN is doing, it's quite weak. Because the other guy didn't expand, so he has a relatively easy time defending.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing he's gonna be full aggressive.
What is the follow-up to the Reapers in the factory, though?
I think it's gonna be like Hellions and Medevac. I think I never
okay,
seen this. I
okay.
think Beyond this once long time ago, but I don't remember exactly how it was. But I'm guessing this one's gonna be okay. This fight is really important. Okay, they just kept sitting there. Oh, this is really bad.
KeeN.
Oh, if
Wait a minute.
this dies is really bad. Oh, it's not gonna die.
Yeah, it seems like he's just going to get away there.
But now the second Reaper is gonna show up, so he should know what build is coming if he pays attention like to this. He should know immediately.
Yeah, when he sees the 2, I'm sure he
Yeah,
has a much better idea of what's going on.
yeah, he should know now. Just the timing of the second Reaper is too quick, you know. So the only way is that his proxy a second barrack. Wow, he's actually making a reactor. He's really greedy about this because
Wait,
he is actually making a reactor. Look at this. I don't know if he can
I
defend
mean, if 2 more Reapers come, what does he do here? Does
Exactly.
he just cancel the command?
this. I guess I don't know. Like, this is so greedy.
Right?
You don't.
I mean,
need-
Ryung should be able to knock this command center
Yeah,
down.
for sure. If he micros properly, he's gonna win this.
Yeah.
And then he wins factory as well. He's not in risk of dying and early on to something crazy.
Maybe he wasn't aware of what was going on as far as the proxy barracks, because I can't imagine you throw a reactor down in that situation normally. And then Ryung turns around.
I think Ryung is realized the situation. He's like, okay, the CC is delayed enough that if I wait for the Hellion that's gonna come up and 2 more Reapers, it's gonna be too much for him to break me.
Ah, okay,
But I don't know.
okay.
We'll see. It's gonna be 6 Reapers and a Hellion, right? So it's a lot of
That's
damage
a
output.
lot, yeah.
So I think he's trying to play even more safe. I think he can do this. We'll see. It depends on the micro though, but it's gonna be hard. He made a third Hellion though, so that's very good for KeeN. Like normally you only make 2. As long as he delays this, but there's a lot of grenades, man. Like it's so hard to fight into it. He really needs to delay the command center. Oh,
Oh my
he's
god,
microing pretty
loses
well.
his Hellion immediately here. Ryung still microing. The 3 Hellions kept alive for KeeN.
Yeah.
Another Hellion comes up. I think Ryung has to dive in again.
Yeah, does he know? I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe. He's behind in tech. Like, look at the starport just finishing. So actually, you're right. I don't think he should have turned back about.
I think the 4 Hellions should have, or the,
The
4
four Reapers.
4 Reapers should have stayed and
I
just
agree.
microed.
I agree.
I don't quite understand the decision making here. Like it felt like he had a perfect situation.
He definitely did. He tried to play way too safe, I guess.
Like I guess he didn't know a reactor was being made, but still.
No, but he should have known because the third Reaper was a little too late.
Yeah.
So he should have known. Maybe he didn't pay attention. I honestly, I wouldn't expect anyone to make a reactor in this situation, so maybe that's why. And he kind of got away with it.
Sure.
KeeN is. So, but yeah, making the reactor was super greedy, man. Like, you have no idea. Like, if he don't just dive in, if this is someone like Percival or Beyond, they're just gonna dive in.
Oh yeah, no, dead, 100%. Yeah.
They're gonna dive in and they're gonna kill you. You're gonna be like, why did I make this reactor?
Yeah, honestly, I felt like even with the 6 and the Hellion,
Yeah.
he should have been able to take it.
He
But
was, yeah.
maybe his micro just a little bit off here.
They both micro pretty well, in my opinion. They're
Yeah.
both known for microing pretty well, this kind of units. Yeah, so, but the game is not over. It's like, he's still ahead in workers. The
Yeah.
only problem I see is that he's behind on Raven count. Like, look, the first Raven is already out for KeeN, and the second one about to be out, and Ryung doesn't even have that one Raven. Literally just finished. So it's literally like one Raven behind in full production, so that's quite bad.
But you know, at least he delayed that command center enough. He killed off a couple SCVs as well. So
Yeah.
economy-wise, he's doing fine right now.
Right.
He's kind of keeping it a little bit forward. He did send that barracks up and got some intel, but
Okay, I really like this, by the way. He's going 3 Ravens. I think if you're ahead in Raven and you can make a third one, you're so happy because you know Raven is so powerful in this matchup. We were talking about this in Percival vs Beyond, like how Beyond likes to skip Raven, and I like it's like skipping Queens when you play Circle. Like, I don't know if I will do that, you know, but
oh, I know. I mean, when they nerfed the disable, you were in shambles. I remember, but
yeah, it's still good enough, I guess.
yeah, it's still a good unit. Turns out.
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And this matchup is super key. Okay, so this move out by Ryung, I guess with 3 Ravens, it's like so powerful. There's so many turrets, so many disables, and if you get at a, they're gonna fight in the middle of the map. Oh, this is so important.
It's a little bit of a lock on there. Siege is up. Scan came down. Ooh, big volley goes down, but doesn't lose units.
Now he's at 1 tank behind. That's the thing. That's one thing that to notice. He's 1 tank behind. He's a little bit more marines. I don't know. The army movement, like trying to get to the low ground to hit the reactor on the starport, is normally the play. Either that or get to the full right, so you can start hitting the mineral line as well. Those are the 2 key points on this map where you want to get advantage with this. Either that or just deny the turbines. Which it seems like he's just sitting here and waiting for, like, use his army to be bigger and shark around, like he's doing. And if he finds an opening, he's gonna full dive in, because he has 1 more Raven, so he has much more turrets and the other spells as well.
Yeah. Would it just turn into a turret spam here?
Oh, it depends. They're honestly, in this matchup, in these fights, there's no right situation. It's just whatever you feel in the last second. You know, it's like it's so hard.
Sure. It's really complicated.
Yeah.
So much going on.
Oh, this 3 Reaper move is really good actually. It's really, really nice. There's nothing to defend. There's what, Vikings, you have to land them. I will jump to the main base, right?
Yeah, I
Sure.
think so.
Yeah. Good
They're
play.
gonna go right up. Vikings gonna have to lift off if they want to chase.
Oh, he's gonna.
Still some good maneuvering going on here.
He locked on the tank. Oh, he locked on the tank. Oh, he went back. He kills the Reapers. So yeah, this is just a good army movement by both players. But still, KeeN is ahead on 1 Raven. Just behind on workers a little bit, but
Pretty close overall,
Yeah.
though, right? Like
Pretty
we have
close.
Ryung up 1 tank. Yeah, he's down that Raven, but he's maneuvered well enough that he hasn't really taken the damage. Oh, throws the auto turrets down. A little bit surprised there. The disables come down, and he starts to push forward. Uh-oh, this could be really bad for Ryung.
this is really bad. Like he uses every single tank, his team into it, and he's just gonna break it. As I said, it depends on the last second. Is a turret spam or a disable spam? But if you can get every single tank like this, you should do this. And yeah.
That was a little bit brutal, not gonna lie.
As I said, the 3 Raven against 2, if you're ahead on Raven, is so powerful.
Yeah.
And Ryung got kind of like too impatient, you know? Like, he needs to play for a little longer game, try to defend.
I don't know. You can see that he's a little bit
Yeah.
miffed at himself, even a little bit disappointed in himself. And I
Yeah.
mean, obviously so. Like, he was totally fine. If he sits back defensively and just keeps kind of mirroring movement from KeeN like he'd been doing the whole game, I mean, it's close enough that you can play out of that.
So what I know this is critical, but like what he should have done there is like instead of trying turrets, he should have disabled the other guy's Raven, and then he would have won.
Ah, yeah.
Because he had more tanks and he was siege, so he would have kind of just destroy everything.
Yeah.
And the Viking kind was the same. That was the play, but it's really hard to do.
No. Well, Ryung is up on the Reopes. He's down 0-2.
He's down where?
Ryung is up on the Reopes, right?
Yeah, he's on the.
I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you like my terrible dad jokes. Juan. I
What
really
a
appreciate
great.
it. All right, Blackburn, gonna be mat number 3. Let's see if he can fight back.
GSL Season 3, Code A. Africa Freaks, KeeN.
Game paused.
All right.
Game post.
Let's talk about Blackburn TVT for a moment
Okay.
here. I feel like we should be seeing at least one guy go mech. What do you think?
This is a very strong map for mech. I'm
Yeah.
glad you bring it up. In fact, I have a little story.
Yeah.
So Marine Lord was playing on the European against Clem, right?
Wait, who had better tools though?
There was no Protoss there, so I guess they were even on
equal
tools.
on tools. Okay, continue the story, please.
So Marine Lord was like, oh, you know, with his French accent, how to beat Clem, you know? I
Yeah.
don't know how to win. And I say, play mech.
hmm
But mech is so bad. Oh, apparently it has an audio issue.
Yeah, that's so common. That's
Okay.
like almost always when we have a pause, it's an audio issue.
Unless it's beyond, I guess.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
And like,
Ryung isn't holding his wrist, so we
Yeah,
don't have to worry
yeah,
about
we don't
that.
have
But please continue your
yeah,
story.
so play mech. He's like, oh, I don't know. Then what happened? He listened to me.
Yeah.
He plays on mech. He just play for a longer game because I feel like his strength.
Mhm.
And these maps are really allow you to play this way.
Yeah.
Blackburn, Romanticide.
Totally.
So
Well, Blackburn is like, it feels in a lot of ways simpler to play as mech, especially with those slow zones into
Yeah.
the main. It's like, well, what are you gonna drop? Or are you? No, yeah, I mean never. It's just not gonna work out, right?
yeah, it's hard to drop
Like
the main base.
a missile turret can stop like 5 battle cruisers come through there, right? Like it's kind of crazy.
It is a little crazy.
But
So, okay. Something we see by Ryung again is like he's doing like he's walling, but
Mhm.
he's not leaving the little space for the reactor. So that means if he makes a reactor, he has to fly the barracks.
Mhm.
Use a little annoyances, you know, or maybe he's gonna make a reactor part of the wall. This is what Beyond likes to do. I personally don't like it too much, but some people do. Okay, and he's also on one guy, so maybe he's just gonna play one Rex spam, man.
okay.
Okay.
Well, you like one Rax
I
expand
do.
this matchup.
I do. This map is a little different to pull off, and actually, it seems like he's going for a mind game too. Because you see the CV being clicked like to make a supply depot. I don't know if you missed that. So I
Oh.
think he's gonna make like a full wall into like a CC on the high ground
Yeah.
from that click. Because you normally don't click like that. But we'll see.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Oh, there we go.
I like the idea.
full wall. So yeah, I think he's gonna just make the command center on the high ground. Used to, you know, fake the other guy, think, oh, he's playing like two guys, full wall.
Well, you're gonna play completely differently. and-
Yeah. Yeah, so little small advantage or mind game. And there we go, like full wall into the command center on the high ground. Okay.
There we go. Good call.
Okay, and Ryung KeeN, my bad, is just playing normal. Two guys. He's like, okay, I won 2 games. I feel like I'm better in this matchup than him, so I should just play safe, and seems like that's what he's gonna keep doing.
No, totally. And I mean, especially if this turns into something like a mech versus mech, it already really looked like he was better at that.
Yeah. Okay, so Ryung. Yeah, we shall see what he's gonna do behind this. There's many options you can do. You can play aggressive. You can just play super defensive. Go into Ravens. Go into like no Ravens, like Beyond. So it just we'll have to wait and see what the plan is. Now, the thing about this map is like sometimes people just like to jump 2 Reapers like this way. And after seeing the Marine shoot like this, he probably is gonna have a good idea what the other guy is doing. because you normally don't make a Marine this quickly in this matchup.
Huh. Do you think he actually looks at that Marine up there and the one Reaper that jumps out of him and says, that's a command center on high ground?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good call.
Especially because he didn't get to scout the low ground as well. He hasn't been able to see that. Now, when he double confirms with the two Reaper one hiding, because I'm sure he's gonna push up the ramp.
Yeah.
He will see, oh, there's no command center. That he might get a little confused about it, because it's gonna be the first time he scouts the natural.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
All right, up he comes. Yeah, even lines it up.
Yeah. Okay, so he sees no command center. So there's two options: either the guy's doing something crazy, or he just hide a CC on the high ground. And it's a little bit of both, because he hide the CC on the high ground, and look, he skipped the starport. He's going fast team.
Yeah, that's a little bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit
Get
weird.
a Cyclone right now to help him actually take that natural.
Okay, so he confirms the command center. Did he see it? Did he saw it? I hope he saw
I
it.
think we switched vision just slightly late. He may have seen the edge of it, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure he knows. Well,
Because the Hellion kind of juked forward a little bit as we
Right.
switched over vision. So
you know, this build that Ryung is doing is something I did like back in the Acropolis days. I remember I did it in GSL against Alive. Literally the same build. So that's how old this build is. But the idea with this build is like, the other guy moves out, you drop 2 medevacs and you just kind of win the game, you know? Or
Yeah,
you
totally.
Or you delay the third base so long for the other guy because he has no steam, right? No way to really take the base. So that's the idea behind this build, why you have a good economy. Look, he's like some workers ahead, but this Banshee is going to have something to say about that. The Cyclone's out of position.
yeah, the Banshee actually can get some great intel here as well. Look
Yeah.
at this, getting a bunch of SCVs already. Like the repair to kind of slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
The Terran shield battery.
Quite the same.
Yeah, look, he sees the stim and he's like cost loss,
Oh,
mining time,
man.
and 7 SCV kills.
This is so
Dude, KeeN,
He's so good working. Like
he's not going to be taking any damage from this.
No, he's not. He's seeing this. You just play fully defensive.
Yeah.
Make the third CC on your base. Well, I don't know about moving out.
He's like, you know what?
I don't know,
He's
maybe
getting quick stim. It looks like he's getting medevacs, unless for some reason I think he's going stim and Vikings right now. Let's move out.
maybe if the move out is fast enough that it's good. But these 2 medevacs are
I
gonna
do not think so, Juan.
I don't know.
I think this is
It's a little crazy. It's gonna be a clown fiesta, that's for sure.
yeah.
Okay, that's kind of good. At least he confirms that okay, there is something going
Does
to my
he-
base.
Yeah, okay, well, I mean, he's coming up, but this is going to be more breakable for Ryung than it is for KeeN. KeeN's going to have like 3 units here total. He does have the siege tank, but you can just stim into the main a little bit deeper. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryung's going to be able to take this game, I think, because like Marine's just popping out 3 at a time, plus whatever pops out of his other stuff. He's going to be able to clear that eventually.
Yeah.
Whereas this is not, like, this is going to be so messy for him to deal with these Marines.
Right. He picked
This
up
is
his point of view. Oh, he's gonna lose 1 medevac. Oh, he got away. It's so big. There's a lot of healing and submarines getting out. Now the Raven has full energy or a lot of energy, so that's very, very powerful and safe. But yeah, I'm starting to like a little bit more Ryung's position because you're right. He's gonna be able to break it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, uses a disable, like, okay, but this was maybe not the best breakout that I could have imagined.
Yeah.
I think Ryung screwed it up a little bit. I didn't like the dive into the natural with the medevacs. I think he should have stayed back a little bit longer in the main.
Yeah, probably.
And then the bust, if he waits like another 2 rounds of Marine production, I think he breaks through this cleanly instead of losing as much as he's
That's
lost.
right. Yeah, you're right. Now, however, there's little advantages for Ryung. The bad thing is that he's so behind in workers now.
Yeah.
The good news is he kills steam, so the other guy's not gonna have steam for like 20 years. And he's already has combat shields as well. So he has 2 upgrades on the Marines ahead.
Maybe it's just time to go mech for KeeN now.
Yeah, maybe.
Stim
yeah.
is that late? Screw it,
Yeah,
man.
maybe.
We already have 3 tanks. Let's go.
It's not a terrible call, because you can just keep making Viking tank forever and just take a third base, and you're ahead economically that you will never die, kind of.
Yeah.
Now the Liberator's being sneaky, man. If he gets into the zone after this guy moves out, oh god, he's gonna have some trouble, you know? How he's gonna clean this? He has no Vikings basically. Oh, he's going for the Doom drop, man.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind that as the call. Ryung is in a
Sure.
position I do not envy here.
Oh, he lost the command center? I think he lost his command center.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he did lose his command
Yeah,
center.
no, he's super dead, so you may as well do this. Look, he's scanning. He sees like 2 SCVs long distance mining.
Then,
oh man.
Yo, the
Sets up the
Liberator.
lib. Oh!
The drop though. It could be scary. There's even a
Yeah,
bunker
let's see.
though.
Okay, drop on top of a tank.
Nah, there's no.
Oh no, he drops into the bunker as well. Yeah, that's the 3 tanks set up in a triangle here.
It was perfect.
That's it. That's game.
You can't destroy, man.
GG. He really got, well, yeah, Ryung, I'm sure he'll look stronger next season.
Yeah, he got destroyed, man. There was
But I was not, yeah, no, I didn't like his decision making, like how he handled that drop. He should have been able to save his command center,
Yeah.
do more damage, and take less damage.
Yeah.
Like all those things in that situation, I think. But that's it. Ryung eliminated. KeeN does move on with a pretty clean 3-0. Definitely looking like the stronger Terran.
I agree. He had good builds. He played well. Even though I actually, like you say, I didn't like the move out, especially after he killed like 7 SCVs with the Banshee.
Yeah.
He still managed to do everything better than KeeN. I mean,
Yeah.
than Ryung. So he got what he wanted, a quick W.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe he wanted to do group selection a little faster.
He wants time to go eat before group selection for sure. All right,
네, 오늘
here's
첫
an
경기
interview.
저녁
KeeN of Africa
선수들의
Freaks defeats Ryung in a very convincing fashion, and he moves on to the Codex.
만나보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
Congratulations.
고맙습니다.
Thank you.
네, 정말 축하드립니다.
Sincere congratulations,
전역 후
KeeN.
두 번의 도전 만에
After your
코덱스
military
16강에
service, this is your
성공했고요.
second
또
try
2018년
into the
GSL
Codex.
이후 3년 만에 16강
So this is your round of 16 after 3 years. How does it feel to return?
군대에서도 16강을 언제 갈 수 있을까?
Well, even in the military, I always pondered about when I can go to the round of 16. But this is earlier than I expected, for sure.
것 같다. 군대에서도 스타트 생각을 많이
So
하셨나
did you
봐요.
have a lot of StarCraft 2 slots in the army? Yes, that's right. Now you can use mobile phones in the army, so I always watch the GSL in the army. So as long as I get back in form in terms of my mechanics, I thought I would be able to compete in the GSL.
개념은 있으니까
Yes, that's right. You know the concept, you have the knowledge. So as long as you have the micro, you can always return to the GSL.
피지컬에 대한 부분 어떠세요? 많이 피지컬
So how is your
끌어올리는 것
micro
같아요?
these days? How's your mechanics?
많은 선수들이 나이 들면은 잘 안 된다고.
Well, a lot of the pros say that when you age, your mechanics gets worse. I always thought it's the same.
같이 잘 되더라고요.
But you know, right now my mechanics is the same as usual.
좀 이제 곧 군대 가셔야 되는 분이 군대 가면은 좋은 성적을 좀 더 낼 수 있지 않을까.
So I believe the players who are going to go to the army, when they return, they'll be able to compete in GSL for sure.
굉장히 긍정적인 소식인
Well, you
것
definitely have a very
같습니다.
positive
자,
mindset.
오늘 경기
KeeN.
내용도 짚어보겠습니다.
Let's take a look at the matches
첫
today.
경기가 메카닉으로 흘러갔잖아요.
The TVT today in the first game was a mechanic versus mechanic.
시작을 했는데 어느 순간 보니까 황규석 선수의 전차수가 훨씬
From
더
some
많고
moment,
또
it
경기에
felt like your
유리해졌더라고요.
siege tanks
좀
were
어떻게
a lot
메카닉
bigger in
선수
numbers.
풀어가셨어요?
So how did you solve that mechanic versus mechanic matchup?
메카 대 메카로 하면은 안질 자신 있었고요.
Well, I had confidence to beat Ryung in the mech versus mech.
없이 시작하면은 내가
format.
무조건 이길 수 있겠다라고 준비했는데 화염차에 결국 당했잖아요. 그래서
You know, I was
아,
defeated
이번
by
첫
his
번째
Hellion
경기는
in the
힘들겠구나라고
game.
생각했는데
So I thought I might
다행히
lose that
바이오닉이
game.
아니고 상대가 메카닉을 해줘서
But the opponent didn't go for the bionic, he went for the mechanic. And that was his mistake. And I think I beat him in terms of optimization.
또 제공권에서도 계속해서 주도권을 갖고
That's right.
안정적으로
Definitely felt like
플레이하시는
you had the upper hand in
모습이었는데요.
the game.
자, 라이트 쉐이드 얘기도
Alright, let's talk about the light
해보겠습니다.
shade game.
상대방이 사신 찌르기로 이렇게 승부수를
The opponent
던져봤는데
harassed you with the
수비와
Reapers.
역습도 안정적이었어요. 이런
But you went for the
전략적인
you went for
카드에 대한
the
대비도 많이
attack
되어
back into his
있었나 봐요.
base. So what was that game
아까
about?
말씀드렸다시피 초중반에만
Like I said
다
before,
막으면 이길 수
if
있다는
I defend,
자신감도 왔기 때문에
His
그런 걸 많이 의식을 하고
if I
게임을 해서
defend his
그런지
aggression in the early mid game, I had confidence to beat him in the late game.
네, 오늘 경기 3세트 엘리전까지 승리를 거두시고
And even in the third game, it was a base trade game, but you won that game.
3대0의 스코어까지
And then you acquired a
예상하셨나요?
3-0 victory overall. So
사실
how does it feel?
1대1만 돼도 3대1로 이길 수 있겠다라고 생각을 갖고 왔는데
Even when the score,
마지막
even when the
경기에서
score might be 1-1,
게임이
I
많이
had the confidence to beat him
지저분해지면서
3-1.
근데 또 그렇게 되면은 제가 좀 더 유리하다고 생각을 했거든요.
But I definitely felt like I was
그랬던 것 같아요.
in the higher ground.
네, 이렇게 오늘
Playing against
군필자
him.
간의 대결 황규석 선수가 승리를 거두면서
So this was the battle
2018년
between
시즌
the two
3
players who
이후
came back from the
3년
army.
만에 16강 진출에
And this is
성공하셨습니다.
his
자,
round
오늘
16 after 3 years.
바로 잠시 뒤에 펼쳐지잖아요.
And the group nomination will be taking
조진영
place
픽도 3년
soon.
만인데 좀 적극적으로 어필하실 생각이신가요?
So how are you gonna
일단
go through that group nomination?
A조를 가는 게 일단 1차 목표고요.
My
그리고
first objective is
좀
to go to the
예전이랑
group A.
군대 가기 전에는 제가 프로토스전을 많이 못해서
And before going to the army, I was always bad against Protoss.
이제 갔다 와서는 또 프로토스전이
But having
생각보다
returned,
어떻게 해야 되는지 이제 알겠더라고요.
Now I
그래서
kind of grasp the concept of how to deal with Protoss players.
뭐 누구든 피할 생각이 일단 없어요.
So you know, group nomination, I'm confident against any player.
하셔야 되겠네요.
네, 일단 같은 팀원인데 뭐 A조에서 같이 나란히 올라가는 것도.
So you know, I just want to go into Group A
그렇군요.
with my
알겠습니다.
teammates.
성공적인
in Africa
도주 명식
Freaks.
기대하면서
Well, we
황규석
wish you
선수
the best
마지막 한마디
for the group nomination.
드리겠습니다.
So before you go, anything you want to say?
일단 뭐 이번에 연습하면서
Well, first of all,
분들에게 대해 감사하고요.
I want to thank all the players who helped me with
항상
practice,
열심히 게임할 수 있게 도와주시는
and also
서포트
thanks to
팀원들에게
Africa
정말
Freaks
감사합니다.
for helping me.
네, 알겠습니다. 오랜만에 16강 진출 다시 한번 축하드리겠습니다.
Once again, congratulations. Thank you.
자, 이렇게 첫
Thanks,
번째
Andy.
16강
Okay,
진출자
this
아프리카
interview,
프릭스
I
황규석
actually
선수 만나봤고요.
found
계속해서
one part in
GSL
there very funny. You know those things that it's like, you know, moments before disaster, like those clips.
Yeah.
I just heard it from KeeN, where he's like, I used to always lose to Protoss, but now I grasp the concept on how to beat them. That is like, that's the hubris of Terran. Is eventually
Yeah.
you think you know how to beat Protoss.
But you don't. You don't. Maybe he dream about it.
I think he's bluffing because
He's bluffing?
I was talking to you about this before. I think Trap's going to pick you or the winner of this match
Yeah.
first, because Trap gets the first pick in group selection, and his PVT is unbelievably strong.
Maybe we can go together.
Maybe you could pick him up. Yeah. All
We can
right.
go together. I wouldn't mind it too much.
Yeah.
I want to be in Group A, and normally
You
group,
do want to be in Group A?
Well, the thing is, Group A normally is the relatively weakest one.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Well, we'll talk more about that
Sure.
shortly. We got to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, Leenock versus KeeN.